Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Marietta back with another video. Y'all know what? I was in the house and I took a nap and I woke up and I got to thinking about a question that I hear all over the internet. All over the internet. And I hear people saying, how are we as American people going to make it? How are we going to feed ourselves, to be exact? How are we going to make it? What does it look like for us as the American people going forward? Well, you know what? I'm not even going to hold you. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks like you're about ready to do this. Beans and rice. Beans and rice. Let me turn around so you can see specifically. Beans and rice. Beans and rice. They're telling you to pack up and store up beans and rice. Beans and rice. Now, don't get me wrong. Beans and rice will feed you. But they're letting you know that you're going to be poor. They're letting you know that you're not even going to eat what you want. You're going to eat what you have to eat to even survive. So evidently, that's letting us know that we get ready to go into a rough terrain. We are going through some rough situations in this world. Anytime you're going to tell me to store my pantry, not with the best, not with crab legs, not with steak, not with all the finer things of life, where I can eat good. I need some pasta. I need some Olive Garden in my life. I need some Red Lobster in my life. I need some delicacies in my life. But you said all we're going to be able to afford is rice and beans, because that's what it looks like when you're living in the struggle part of life. Now, mind you, don't get me wrong. It's like saying the Bible says the poor will always be with us, and I've always classified myself as part of that. And the word says when you're poor, say you're rich, because you want to be content where you are, whatever space that you're in, and that way you will know where your help comes from. But when anytime they're telling you to fill your pantry full of beans and rice, that's a question. If you've lived on the top and you had the finer things in life, and you're used to eating well, and you're used to living and driving well, you need to understand that right now, where they're pushing you to is a place of where you're not going to be able to afford anything. You're only going to be able to afford the bare minimum. The bare minimum is what you're going to be able to afford. And it's in a place where your money that you have now, the reason why it's being depleted, that is the goal. They got to suck all the money out of the economy. They got to make sure that you're broke, make sure that you don't have enough money to fend for yourself, so that when you go to the grocery store, you know what I already told you what you're supposed to get. You got to get some beans and rice, because this is what you're going to need. This is going to be that poor man's meal. That poor man's meal. And the reason why a lot of y'all are so upset and you're about ready to lose your mind is because you've never been in this place. This right here has been on my table all my life. All my life I've had to fight. You understand me? All my life I've had to survive. I've had to struggle, and I've eaten struggle meals all my life. So this is nothing different for me. But for you, for all of you that have been on the top, all of you that look down on the poor people, all of you that turned your nose up at the homeless lady, for all of you that don't know how to humble yourself, now you get ready to have a humbling experience. This is a humbling experience. A very humbling experience. Fill your cabinets. Understand what your meal is. Understand what the assignment is. And your assignment is for you to go to the store. That's why everything is high, because I want to make sure you get what I'm placing it on your table. That either you buy what you're going to need, because that's all you're going to be able to eat is beans and rice. Or I'm going to deplete your pocket, because I'm going to make that steak $38. I'm going to make that steak $60. I'm going to make that steak $50. I'm going to make that family pack of chicken wings $28. I'm going to make it so that I'm going to drain the pockets out of you in order for you to be rebellious and eat what you want to eat, instead of going for the beans and rice so you can eat what you got to eat, because this is part of the plan. This is part of the plan. This will humble you to a place where you will be ready, willing, and able to do whatever it is that we need for you to do. You'll be able to put yourself in position. You won't have to worry about eating the best. You don't have to worry about eating the finer things, going out to eat no more fast food. You'll eat that beans and rice and stay in your corner and stay in your place. Yeah, it's a humbling experience. Think about it. Think about how many people are giving you the staple things that you have to buy, because those are the things that you're going to need to sustain you. While the rich have filled their cabinets and filled their pantries. Hold on, y'all, I got a wasp that's trying to sting me. They have filled their pantries with the finer and good things of life. They already know that the things that you're buying, they're not interested in putting on that table. You think you ever going to walk into the White House and see this on the table? Do you think this is the meal that they're eating? Do you think this is the meal that the rich are eating? Do you think this is the meal that the middle class used to not eat when they thought that they was part of the rich class, when they thought that they had it going on and they never thought that it was going to hit their house? Now you realize that the word said there's rich and there's poor. All the middle class, you got to go. You got to go. You're not even important. They're showing you that you're not important. They're showing you that you not matter. But you turned your nose up at the poor. That one that was last will one day be first, because she understands what this is. She understands the struggle. She done been in the struggle all her life. She know what it is to do without. He know what it is to be poor. He know what it is to work until his back is broken and come home at dark and see his kids, and 5 minutes later he's asleep because he done put in all of them hours at work. He know what it is to not be able to kiss his wife in the morning before he leave for work because she's too tired. She's laying up there sleeping and he's too tired to even bend down because his back is hurting so bad, or he can't even come home because he got to stay away and work 3 and 4 and 5 weeks at a time and come home to his family 5 minutes, and then he got to go right back out again. So he don't really never get to see his family. The family never get to see daddy. Daddy never get to be in the home because of the fact the home was broken down. And even in the midst of him working like that, all he could afford was this. And y'all think this is not designed for you. You never thought that this would come to hit your house. That's why I tell you never to say never, because you don't know. You don't know what forces are moving around in this area. If you don't understand spiritual warfare, right now you're in the middle of it. Right now you're right in the middle of spiritual warfare. Right now you're in the middle of spiritual warfare. And I see so many middle class folks, so many people that maybe thought they were better than you and me, that are now crying. They're crying. They're crying. They're crying. They wish they could take it back. They're having a humbling experience. Now they're looking at people in a different way. Now they realize there's no big me's or little you's. Now they realize that their table has been breaking down. They're actually having to sell all these fine things that they have gotten. Don't get me wrong. I think people deserve to have some fine things. But when you start using those things against other people, and you start using those things to think that you're better than somebody else, and you start using those things to look down on people, God has a way of humbling you and has a way of stripping you and bring you right back down to where it begins. Where it begins. I've eaten this all my life. It's no big deal for me. This has become a delicacy for me because this is what I'm used to. This is what I've been had on my table. I come from a family of 11. Mama used to have to put this on the table. It's not that I did anything wrong to have to eat this 24/7. I was born into this. I was born into this. I was born into this world to be wicked and crooked and deceitful and hateful and jealous and envy and strife and ignorance and greed and power and money, and it's just disgusting and it's sickening. There's no heart, there's no love, there's no joy, there's no peace. Those things you have to find within. Those things you have to get to a place where you got to create them for yourself. You got to get away from some folks. You got to get out of the way. Now a lot of y'all are seeing it. I see a lot of you on the lines asking the questions. You used to could change your car all the time. Now the car payments are going up so high. Car payment as high as your mortgage payment. You got to have a 780 or 880 credit score to get a $500 car payment. I remember you can get a car payment for $200. You can get a car payment for $300. Look what the devil has done. Look what the devil has done. We keep blaming the devil for everything. The devil ain't doing everything. A lot of this is just manly greed. They see opportunity and they decide to use it. It ain't the poor man that they're after. It's you middle class folks that are sitting up here with all this extra money. They want all of that. They want to make sure that they take all of that. It just looks like they're attacking the poor. That's the distraction why they come after you. Look at the farmers over there in Nebraska. They never thought this was going to hit them. They never thought that they would ever see themselves begging for bread. They never thought that they would ever see their families be in a place where their whole livelihood could be destroyed and torn out. Some of us have lived in this era of time all our life. I've been here 65 years in this place. I see what's going on here. I have spiritual vision. I can see what's going on. It's nothing new to me. It's nothing new. It doesn't even frighten me. I've been at the bottom all my life. I operate my best at the bottom. I have so much heart and compassion for those that are homeless, those that are poor, those that can't do for themselves. I remember taking all my clothes and giving them to the street. I remember taking X amount of shoes out of my closet and throwing them to the street. Because I would rather see somebody put their foot in them and walk and be able to not have themselves hurt than to have 10, 15, 20 pairs of shoes sitting in the closet. A lot of y'all living that way right now and won't give nobody a t-shirt. Even though you see that you and your clothes could be devoured by the enemy that's flying through the air, by the principalities that's going on through the air. This spiritual warfare is coming to tear down everything that's prideful, tear down everything that's selfish, tear down everything that's ignorant, everything that put his mouth on God's people. Believe it. Believe it. This is God's doing and it's marvelous. It's marvelous. It is marvelous. It's either equal or nothing. Everything or nothing. This is what's happening here. Everything or nothing. A lot of you are going to end up with nothing because of the fact that you don't know how to operate without nothing. You got to have the granite countertops. You got to have the big home. And you got to have the fancy cars and this, that, and the other thing. And let me tell you something. The devil don't care nothing about none of that. None of it. He's going to tear you right on down if you don't humble yourself. If you don't get in a place where you understand that they have given you your meal and given you your assignment. Your meal. This is your meal. And your assignment is to collect as much of it as you possibly can. And hope you get a chance to eat it. So don't think for 1 minute just because you collect it that God will even give you the grace to even eat it. There's some things that you have to reap what you sow. You have to reap what you've sown. I don't want this message to sound gloom and gloom, but I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. This meal is no different than any other meal I've ever had. Mama used to make these very same soup beans, these navy beans. She used to make these beans all the time, drop some dumplings in them and give us a biscuit, and that's how she fed her 11 kids. I was born into this, so it's nothing new for me. I understand you've never lived like this. I understand you never ate like this. I understand you was born to a family that had it all and could give it all and did it all. And now you see where it's being taken away. And that's where the cry is. You're taking away my toys. You're taking away my livelihood. You're trying to make me suffer. And I don't know how to do it. I get it. I get it. But yet and still, welcome to America. Welcome to USA. How did we get here? How did we get here? The land of the brave. The free. Remember the song says, stand beside America. Stand beside her and guide her. Now we're leading her into destruction. Leading her in the pathway of destruction. Ain't that something? How did we get here? How did we get to this place? We could still see the wind blowing, so we still got hope. We got hope, y'all. If you believe that there's a God, if you believe in Jesus Christ, if you believe that there's a higher power, you still got hope. I look up a lot. I pray a lot. And no matter what happens or how it happens, a lot of you are wondering what's the end come? How's it going to turn out? What's going to happen in the end? How is this going to happen? If AI take all the jobs, who's going to be buying the stuff? If we don't have no money, how are we going to afford this? How are we going to afford that? Look up. Look up. That's it. That's all. Just look up. And I think, when I look up, let me tell you what I think when I look up. I think about the fact that all that God has brought me through, all that He has done for me over these years, all that He has shown me, all the miracles that I have seen in my 65 years of life. Some people do not even get to live that long. I look to the hills from which cometh my help, and I know my help cometh from the Lord. And no matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, if I perish, let me perish in the Spirit of the Lord. If He doesn't do anything else for me, God knows He done enough. And if what He has prepared on my table for me to eat Is beans and rice? Beans and rice it is. Beans and rice it shall be. So with that being said, to God be the glory. Because you know there are some people out there on the street, some people that are homeless, some people that are starving, that don't even have beans and rice to put in their mouth. But yet, we're sitting up here wondering exactly why is it that we're being degraded down to beans and rice. Well, some of us ain't being degraded down to beans and rice. Some of us have been eating beans and rice all our life. Some of us understand that beans and rice kept us strong, kept us healthy, gave us a strong meal to work with. And if you don't know why they putting you on beans and rice, because beans and rice will help you get down them fields. Beans and rice will help you work them farms. Beans and rice will give you the strength to work hours that regular pizza and McDonald's won't give you this kind of strength. There's a different kind of nutrition, a different kind of strength, a different kind of energy you get when you eat beans and rice. Believe that. Believe that. So that's my little rant, y'all. That just came on my mind, and I figured I would share this little story with y'all. I love y'all. Y'all know I come to uplift, motivate, and inspire. So I'm waving at the neighbors. Uplift, motivate, and inspire. And to give you something to think about when you're in there cooking your dinner. Don't be buying these beans and rice right now and throwing them in the cabinet knowing you ain't never ate none, knowing you don't know the effect of them. Fix yourself some beans and rice and sit at your table and begin to eat them now. And realize that this is where you're going. You're going to have to dress them up, add whatever you need to add, whatever season you need to add. And don't think about putting no meat in them, because there may not be no meat down the road for you to stick in them. You might need to learn how to eat them beans just the way they are. Plain and let's go. But if you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. We like to uplift, motivate, and inspire. We will speak life into all dark situations. And if and so you have not turned your notification bell on, please turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when I drop my next video. I love y'all so much, and there's just so much I want to share. Be blessed.